is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about some Detroit Lions. Lions. Bobby, what are you doing with the camera?
Just adjusting the frame, get your head in the shot, you know.
Zoomed in right now?
Oh, no. It looks real good from my angle. No, you're good. I mean, maybe you could back up a little bit.
Just make sure it's zoomed out because I'm kind of already
Yeah, like maybe back up.
I have a feeling you have it zoomed in right now.
Look how big this dude's forehead looks. Look at his forehead, man.
Why are you laughing then? Why are you guys laughing? It's zoomed in. Can you zoom it out?
No, man, you good. I'm telling you, you good.
Zoom it out, Bobby. We good. I zoomed it out. I put it on his mouth. You don't even need to stand back there if you want. You could leave if you want to, and I'll see you later if you want. Tonight, we'll hang out tonight. All right. Hey, these are the right notes, right? These are the notes for the video. Okay, we're good. All right. I'll see you later, man. Okay, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we have a couple of head coaching candidates that we need to talk about. First off, Robert Saleh. We may have some competition there. And also, Dan Campbell explains why Bobby is so awesome.
Did you get him? Yeah, he got it. He just read it. Classic. You got him, man. Look at him. Come on, man.
Funny, Bobby.
Bobby left.
I see you in the corner. Get out of the corner.
No, that's not me.
You're literally.
That's
not even standing completely.
Bobbert.
Oh, really? You know what? I'll give it to you. That was pretty good. It was pretty good. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we have some Detroit Lions news. We got the latest from the Detroit Lions. We are going to be talking about one candidate that looks like he's going to be some competition if the Lions want to bring him in. Also, a dark horse candidate, you could say, maybe a long shot, but his interview seemed to have went pretty well. So let's get it started.
You know, I got to shout out DoseOfDion, man, because it was actually the first time I went live on YouTube. And, you know, guys don't know DoseOfDion. He put out a lot of good content for the Detroit Lions.
Welcome everybody to another video. Glad you guys are here. Today we got a couple of guys to talk about. We got some information. We got some rumors. So we're going to have some fun with it. All right. We're going to start off with the fan favorite, the guy that I think most fans want, right? Is it fair to call him the fan favorite? I think it is fair. And also the guy that I predict will be the Lions' next head coach. That is Robert Saleh, defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. Well, it was kind of thinking like, okay, Robert Saleh, he kind of looks like a lock to be the Lions' next head coach. But then we got the conflicting rumors. Hey, it went great. Oh, it went bad. So what really happened there? Well, now not only do we have those conflicting rumors, also the Lions look like they're in some competition. So if they want to hire him, they're going to have to compete with another team. And that other team, it's that team in New York. It's the Jets. The Jets are reportedly bringing in Robert Saleh for his second interview. His second interview. That means it's going to be in person. They're going to fly him in, and that also means he's a finalist for the job. Now, I've heard they've had a couple of other guys that have done this as well, so he's not the only one for the Jets. But they're kind of flying through that interviewing process, and apparently Robert Saleh is a finalist for the job. And the report from the Saleh side of things is he kind of likes what the Jets are doing over there. So the Lions will have some competition if they want to bring him in, which could mean it could speed up the Lions process. If they really want Saleh, they may have to go after and get him because they're in competition with other teams, and the Jets now may be showing some heavy interest. And if they don't want to lose him, they may have to make it happen sooner rather than later to make sure they don't lose out on Robert Saleh. Also, with the note of Robert Saleh, I saw this rumor. I don't know if it's legit or not, but he would be willing to work with Ed Dodds if he was our GM. So there could be a connection there for sure. We know there was a connection in the past when they were both at Seattle. Now let's talk about this other dark horse coaching candidate, and that is Dan Campbell. We haven't talked about him that much. He's currently the assistant head coach and tight end coach for the New Orleans Saints, working with Sean Payton. Rumor out there with Dan Campbell. The reason we're talking about him in today's video is because apparently here's how the rumor goes. There is an influence within the front office that favors Dan Campbell. So what does that mean? Well, to me, it can mean three things. One, the influence is that he was a former player, so they like that. Those ties with him in the past with the Lions, you know, being with the Detroit Lions in the past could help him out. I'm not sure. The second one would be maybe they're matching him up with the GM that they've already interviewed or someone that they believe is one of their top candidates, and he brought up Dan Campbell's name, and there could be a connection there. So they're thinking, okay, we can pair this GM with the head coach. Or maybe his interview just went well, and that's how they're wording it as, okay, there's influence within the front office because, well, they liked how he interviewed. So now he's favored by some people in the front office as being a top candidate for Detroit. Unless you know, put it down in the comment section below. I don't really know what that actually is, that influence is in the front office. Now, he doesn't have this huge background to look at, not a ton of things to look at unless you just go look at the time that he was the interim head coach for the Miami Dolphins and you break down all of those games. But just a quick little background on who Dan Campbell is. Dan Campbell, as I mentioned, tight ends and assistant head coach right now for the New Orleans Saints. He goes back to his playing days where he actually played for the Detroit Lions at one point as a tight end. He was drafted in the 3rd round, I believe. He got a start in coaching Miami Dolphins. So he starts with the Miami Dolphins as a tight end coach, right? Makes sense. Interesting thing is, though, when they fired their head coach, Joe, he takes over as the interim head coach. Now, they fired him after 4 games. They were 1-3. So they bring in Dan Campbell as the interim head coach. And he went about it in a very interesting way. If you guys remember, we talked about him, an aggressive approach. He brought back the Oklahoma drill to practice, which, by the way, is a really cool drill. If y'all don't know the Oklahoma drill, come on, man. Y'all got to know from the old college games, right? Old NCAA football, come on, man. They need to bring NCAA back. That's facts. But Oklahoma drill. So he was bringing about it that way. His thought was, hey, the best teams I've been a part of, they went at each other in practice. I'm sure that's from his playing experience that he took that. So when you talk about a guy's personality like Dan Campbell's, you have to question, okay, well, hold up. How would players respond to this? Especially when you take a look at some of the quotes later on what he said about how they were playing and, the veteran players and things like that. So you wonder. And after the first couple games, you see a lot of reports, oh, yeah, they look like a brand new team. The players like him. Well, okay, it's fresh. They're playing well. They're winning. Okay, things are great. But what about after that? When they finished 3-6 in their last 10 games, how are the players feeling? Well, after their last game, which they did win, by the way, they finished 6-10. They beat the Patriots. Apparently, when he met with the locker room, a chant broke out. Campbell, come on, Campbell, let's go. Like that. Maybe not like that. Something like that. And Tannehill said he 100% has the support of the players. They wanted him back. So it seems like, at least in Miami, the players liked him. And I think, that's kind of what we saw this year. I mean, I don't know about you. I don't know if there was a chant that broke out because we lost. Maybe there was if we won. I feel like the players were really behind Darrell Bevell, and they liked playing for him. Kind of weird. I'm getting like Darrell Bevell vibes from this whole thing. Like more of a player's coach, in my opinion. But how much can he coach? That is the question. Can he coach a team? Now he's had the experience with Sean Payton, which you got to believe is something that's got to help him, and he could take that with him and learn from it wherever he goes next. If he gets a head coaching job, he'll take a lot that he learned from that. So I think the experience will be helpful to him. The question is, will he be able to coach his team? There's still a lot of questions with him, just like there is with any unproven guy. Hiring, building a team, all that stuff is stuff that you don't deal with when you're the interim head coach. You just take over that team and you just deal with them for the rest of the season, and there's no expectations. There's a lot to it for a guy like Campbell, and that would obviously be the biggest question. And this is a question that we really can't answer until we see him as a head coach. I did find this one little quote from Dan Campbell on their season when they were struggling. They were 5-8 at that point in the season with Miami, and it kind of reminds me of the Ed Dodds personality that we talked about in our last video, like the one quote that he had where he was like, mad, hey, we just won a wild card game. Well, here's what Dan Campbell had to say when they were 5-8 on the season. He said this: that in itself stings, and there's no hiding that. You can call it all we want. I'm not going to come in here with a smile on my face. It pees me off. I'll just say pees me off. I don't know if people look at that as bad or not. It pees me off. And I know it pees those guys off in the locker room. But we create our own mess, and we're responsible for it. There's penalties that he talked about, and he says this. Those are the most disappointing. You just got to address them. And those things will be addressed one-on-one with those individuals. Totally inexcusable. Oh, snap. There is nothing that is okay with that. Apparently, Dan Campbell said he would not be afraid to put the young guys in because the veterans weren't playing well. He said this. The veterans weren't doing enough to make the playoff push. I make sure that it stings and that it hurts, because the minute you go numb to that, you are just a loser. Oh my. So I want it to hurt. It motivates me. It pees me off. And it's not too much for me to handle. To me, that's how you get motivated to win, because you're tired of losing. It stinks. That is an interesting personality. That could be definitely hit and miss, it sounds like. But it reminds me a little bit of that Dodds personality. So I can definitely see why those two guys might be interested in working together. He has interviewed for some jobs, including teams like the Green Bay Packers, the Cleveland Browns, Arizona Cardinals, and the Indianapolis Colts. And with Indianapolis, he was a finalist for the job, which, when people bring up, hey, there's ties, I think that's where the ties are. I think the ties are with Indianapolis, because when he was interviewing being a finalist for the head coaching position for Indy, Ed Dodds was with Indianapolis, I am assuming, so they probably went through the interview process. He met him there, and that's why there could be some ties. Because of those ties, there could be some interest from the Detroit Lions. The report, and he may have some influence over the front office right now, and the Detroit Lions may like him a little bit after their interview. Now, he seems like an absolute dark horse, long shot, not a guy that we've talked a lot about, probably not someone that, is expected to get the job, and his resume is kind of small. Look, you were the interim head coach, okay, so you got that experience, you finished 5-7, a little bit longer than what Darrell Bevell took over. But after that, then you just went straight to New Orleans. You became the tight end coach and the assistant head coach with Sean Payton, and that's where you've been ever since. So pretty small for sure. And again, if the Lions do hire one of those Saints guys, one of those GMs that we've interviewed, a GM candidate from New Orleans, maybe that could easily be a tie with Dan Campbell and one of those guys like Jeff Ireland or Fontenot. Those guys that were with the New Orleans Saints, they could definitely be a straight connection. So with a guy like Dan Campbell, what would you be getting? Well, you're going to get an aggressive, a very passionate head coach. That is for sure. Kind of reminds me, kind of gives me some Robert Saleh vibes. Also, having that little experience being the interim head coach for 12 games, he probably took something from that, definitely can learn for it. And honestly, I mean, you got to believe, man, this guy's had some really good experiences working with Sean Payton. Payton, one of the best coaches in the game. He's also known as pretty aggressive as a head coach. And to get to work with him just as soon as he could and became the assistant head coach. Well, right now, let's say Sean Payton, for some crazy reason, fired, he would be the interim head coach because he's the assistant head coach. To get that job right away, Sean Payton must really like him. Sean Payton always has high things to say about what Dan Campbell can do. So it's an interesting resume because it's short and sweet. So you got to believe that if he was a head coach, the tight ends would do really well because, again, that's what his specialty was. He played tight end. He was also a tight end coach. So you got to believe with the line situation with Jesse James, T. Jackson, Hunter Bryant, all those three guys, they could probably benefit. I mean, you drafted a tight end within the top 10. Jesse James, it looks like maybe he could be used in a better, more efficient way. So you have, those tight ends. There's some really talented tight ends, that's for sure. Some younger tight ends that he could probably help out and work with. So I believe it's a dark horse. I don't really see it happening. But I do think it's interesting that, hey, the front office may have liked him a little bit after his interview. But Robert Saleh's in competition. Man, the news just keeps flowing. We'll see, man. We got to keep up to date with this thing. We don't know. I don't know how Ed Dodd's interview went. I really didn't get to hear anything from that. But we'll see what happens with Ed Dodd's. We'll see what happens with Dan Campbell if we get any more information. But apparently his interview must have went pretty solid. And Robert Saleh, we'll see what happens with the Jets. Are they going to jump on it? Are they going to steal Robert Saleh? We'll see. We'll see. We'll keep you guys updated. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. And I'm out. Hey, where's Bobby? Is he still here? Oh, I'm going to go get Bobby.